Because whenever I see any kind of atrocity, I always think that person has a mother, a parent, a brother, a sister, probably.
Oh, it's going to have a dreadful effect on that family. Obviously, our thoughts are with all the victims and with their families, but the perpetrator's brother is entirely innocent and his life's been changed forever. And we've seen that before in terrorist attacks or terror attacks in Europe, in the south of France, that when the man drove the lorry along the seafront in Nice, you think of the families that are completely innocent, that are, you know, their lives are altered.
I remember being really struck by the families and after the Barcelona attack as well, because I know that we do all sit there and think, but how could you have not known? We have that moment, but I think it's entirely feasible that somebody could have an enormous secret like that. I mean, you think some people go off and marry other people and have whole other families and their wives don't even know. And I too, I always have such empathy, sympathy for the families of the perpetrators.
And also the fact that, and not that they should, but I imagine that they will live probably the rest of their lives full of guilt.
Yeah. Well, I think
because
he
they'll
had
be
spoken
thinking we
to
should
his
have known.
brother. He'd spoken to him, and I think you would always be thinking, was there a sign?
Yeah.
Was there something in his behaviour? Or maybe they weren't that close, and then you would be thinking, maybe we should have been in touch more often. I'm not saying specifically them, but just generally.
But don't we live in a society now where families say, I think with this family, they weren't a particularly close family. They just talked occasionally on the telephone, and the father has been in jail for robbing banks. So it doesn't sound like, you know, there was a lot of contact between them all. Anyway, so now we don't, you know, if you go back 20 or 30 years, you used to have many more family gatherings, and people, you know, got together more than they do now. Now we communicate by email, by text, by telephone, and of course that's the way of not telling people. It's easier now to have a secret.